In today's thrift store challenge video, we are headed back to Pottery Barn to get some much needed inspiration for summer decor. So we're gonna go to Pottery Barn, get loads of inspiration, and then we're gonna head over to the thrift store to see what we can come up with for a whole lot less. With that being said, let's go ahead and get started. One of my favorite things that Pottery Barn carries pretty much year round, but I really love this sort of almost like whitewashed, distressed in the sun look that Pottery Barn has been sharing. So while I was out thrifting, one thing I wanted to find was almost like a bulbous shaped piece of pottery or ceramics that I could distress. So I came across this one that was just $3.33. I also liked that it had a little bit of additional detailing to it all the way throughout. So that way when I am distressing it, it has a place for the distressing to kind of settle inside of and give it that extra dimension. So I'm starting off with a little bit of wet mud. I'm just gonna rub this all over, and this is gonna be like a nice starting off point for this aged ceramic look that we're going for. Once I was happy with the first layer, for the second layer, I'm just going to combine 3 different types of acrylic paints from the Dollar Tree. So it's mostly gonna be green and brown with a little bit of black. So the first round I did this with, it ended up being just a little bit too teal tinged, which I didn't want. So I just kept adding brown paint until I pretty much got to this color, which was really what I was going after. So I would say it would be like 2 parts brown, 1 part green, and just a hint of black just to deepen the overall color. And to apply it, I'm not using anything fancy. I'm just taking a slightly damp paper towel and I'm gonna rub this all over this piece of pottery. Because there was no drainage hole, I just added some Dollar Tree black stones to the bottom before placing my fresh herbs inside of here. I think this gives it a very European feeling look. And for the upcoming summer months, it's definitely nice to have something that's fresh and aromatic right by my kitchen sink. And what's even better is this whole situation was well under $10, and I think it looks high end on a budget. Another piece of decor I've noticed a lot of high-end designers are incorporating, especially in kitchens, are patinaed copper. So I came across this patinaed copper pitcher at my local thrift shop for just $4, and I thought it was so beautiful and the perfect addition next to the time. It could obviously also be practical, but this is really just more for aesthetics, and I think that this just pulls in that kind of aged European look I'm really trying to achieve for the upcoming summer months. Another piece of decor that I'm always gravitated towards whenever I'm at Pottery Barn are their wood cutting boards and serve boards. They're always so beautiful, but I like to pay attention to a few things: the scale, so how big something is, the wood tone that they're using, and the overall shape. So when I found this guy at the thrift store, it was just $2.33, had a very similar overall shape to the cutting boards I was seeing at Pottery Barn that were almost at the $60 price point. And the overall scale was actually really nice. It was very comparable to what I was seeing at Pottery Barn, but the only big thing that needed to change was the wood tone. So I just decided to grab some gel stain in the color coffee, and I'm just going to stain this using a paper towel. And I really actually didn't want it to look super perfect. That's why I didn't pre-stain this project. I usually use pre-stain if I want it to look pretty perfect, but because I wanted to almost have, again, this kind of like age and vintage appearance. So I was really happy with the overall result of this cutting board. Now, I'm not gonna put food on here or anything like that. Again, it's just more for aesthetics, but I think this whole vignette came together so beautifully and was under $20. If you happen to watch the Pottery Barn spring video I did, you'll remember how in love with this woven vase I was, but I was definitely not in love with the price tag. It was almost $150, which is just, again, insane to me. So when I saw it for summer, they just had some really pretty like greenery coming out of it, and I loved that look. And while I was up thrifting in Cleveland, I found this beautiful woven vase for just $8.66. The scale was perfect, like spot on to the scale of what I had seen at Pottery Barn. And I actually really liked that it had these like really rustic and beautiful handles on it. And I liked that there was 2 different wood tones happening. Both complement my space very well. And taking a tip from Pottery Barn for summer, they just filled it with some greenery that was faux. So I'm actually just gonna take a Dollar Tree hurricane vase and stick it inside of here. That way it becomes a little bit easier. Pick up some nice faux greenery that was 40% off per stem, under 20 bucks for all 4 of these. And then the most important thing when you're applying your stems is you just want to avoid just kind of like plopping them in there. You want to make sure that you're adding some like variation with each individual stem, so that way it just looks a little bit more realistic. Moving right along into the textiles, they were carrying a lot of braided jute pillows, a lot of blue for summer, but you can also kind of dig and find similar things at the thrift store. I did decide to pass on this jute pillow because it was a bit damaged, but then I came across this kind of grid-like navy and cream little just throw blanket that I thought was just perfect for more of a chair situation, not really for a couch because it was quite small, but I love this little fringe detail at the end there. This small throw blanket was just $3. I just folded it up. I placed it on the back side of this chair I have in my office. I think it provides some pattern, some visual interest, but definitely on a budget. Keeping along with that blue theme, I noticed a lot of these books that Pottery Barn were carrying were different shades of blue. There was no writing or anything on the exterior of the book, but they were just covered in this kind of blue linen-y fabric. If you guys watch my Kirkland's video, you'll know that I found these book boxes that were very nice, but they provide a little bit of storage. So you could stick batteries, remotes, and things like that in here. So when I came across this fabric, I thought this might be a nice thing to wrap these decorative book boxes in. These book boxes came in a set of 3. They are from Amazon, so check the description box down below. I will link them for you guys. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take the biggest one and I'm going to just wrap it around. So I'm just kind of measuring basically how I would if I was going to be wrapping a present, not including the part that is supposed to be like the faux pages. And the first thing I do whenever I'm doing any sort of fabric related project is I like to take my iron to it just to get it as seamless as possible before I apply it to my project. With the majority of the creases removed, now it's just time to start wrapping this book box. So I started out on the side that I wanted to make sure that magnetic clasp would still be maintained if I started on that side first. So I made sure that was intact, and then it's really just kind of like wrapping any other book that I've shared with you guys so many times before this. So you just want to make your cuts nice and straight, keep it nice and seamless, use good quality scissors. I will link a more detailed tutorial in the description box down below. And with the smaller of the 2 books, I'm just going to actually spray paint them just so that way there is some variation. Because these boxes were supposed to be like a faux leather, I decided to use a satin sheen in white dove, so I will link that as well for you guys in the description box below. And I think that it gives a little bit of variation. I have that little pop of blue that Pottery Barn was carrying, but I also think it still feels really neutral overall. If you're really trying to achieve a Pottery Barn aesthetic, one piece of decor I definitely recommend you look out for at the thrift store are lanterns, because they have them everywhere scattered throughout Pottery Barn, especially during the summer months. So taking some inspiration from Pottery Barn, I'm just naturally gravitated towards things that I think just feel a little bit more clean lined and simple. So I found this lantern that had a lot of like fall filling inside of it. So I just decided to remove that filling and I saved it for the fall season should I decide to use it then. And there was just a lot of adhesive buildup from the tape that they were using. So I just removed all of that with some Dawn dish soap and some warm water. And then to fill it, I'm just gonna take a Dollar Tree pillar candle that is flameless, and I'm just going to pop this in there to get that Pottery Barn inspired look. So this whole vignette really came together on a thrifted budget from the thrift store with just very easy and minimal DIY tools. And I think I have a very Pottery Barn inspired look in my space, but it was so budget friendly. Another lantern that I came across at the Hartville thrift shop was this copper spray painted lantern, and it was $5, but the scale was quite large. I actually was intending to use this outside. So the first thing I wanted to do was just remove all of the glass pieces so it would be easier to spray paint. So we are just gonna set these off to the side and decide on a spray paint. So I needed to just kind of clean it off a little bit, especially the bottom. Applied some Dawn dish soap to just kind of remove that sticker there so I have a nice clean finish. Just wiped the glass down really well with a baby wipe that had a little bit of Windex on it. And for the spray paint, I wanted to use this high heat spray paint because again, I was planning on putting this outside. So I applied about 3 coats of this high heat spray paint, and then it was going to be time then to seal it once it had all dried. And this is where I should have stopped because now it has all of this like weird texture. And I don't know if it was just because the sealer was old, but like, look at that. That is like so not what has ever happened when I've sealed my projects. So if you guys know why this happened, leave me a comment down below. Also too, if there's anything you've ever used that can save this project, because right now I think I'll probably just donate it right back to the thrift store. But if there's something that you think is salvageable, let me know down in the comments. So for now, for this project, I think it's best to just kind of hold off. I'm gonna wait to hear from you guys and see if you guys have any like secret tips that you wanna share to kind of salvage this piece. But for now, we're just gonna hold off and let it be what it is. Another kind of like trademark piece of decor that Pottery Barn carries every summer is frosted glassware, and it's usually tinged in like a blue or like a bluish green color. So I came across this bowl here that was just $8, and it looked so similar to this one from Pottery Barn, and in their display they use it for food. So again, taking some inspiration from them, I'm just going to add this salad mix here, and I think that this is just a nice way to kind of get that Pottery Barn look, but on a budget. You don't need to spend $40 on a bowl. Save yourself a little bit of money where you can and try your local thrift store and see if you can find something similar on a budget. And that about wraps it up for today's video. Thank you all so much for watching. Let me know down in the comments which find or DIY project was your favorite. And in addition to the Thrift Store Challenge series, we will be starting a new series on this channel starting next week that is Dollar Tree focused. So there's a lot more DIY involved in this series, but I'm very excited to share it with you guys. I think you will enjoy it if you love DIYing as much as I do. So make sure you're subscribed, turn the bell notifications on, and I will see you guys next Sunday. Bye for now.